No, can you hear me?
Yes.
What about me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Everybody back here, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great, so you can hear us all.
Now you may have noticed that we are standing around the room rather than up there.
We're spread out from one another, just like we are across the communities in our great country and around the world. But we're amongst you, just like the youth are amongst you in your communities.
You can still hear us?
Yes.
Good. Hope so.
Actually, there's nothing up there right now. There's no youth, there's no adults, there's no babies, there's no one else of any other definitive age category.
There also happens to be not much money up there. There's no venue. There's very little infrastructure, no sustainability, very little time. But you're all very familiar with these challenges, aren't you?
There's just an empty space, a void. There's a lack of everything, nothing.
We really want to make sure that you can hear us. We've heard you, and we love what you say.
We're excited to continue the conversations that have begun right here at SPARC. The possibilities for learning and mentorship. But a proper conversation is truly a dialogue, not just a monologue. And we really want to know, can you hear us?
Yes.
What is up there is space. We need space.
Zach, what do you mean by space? That's a pretty vague and overreaching term.
Well, I mean, we need a space designated for the arts.
Like an infrastructure space or just a specific space? Can it be an outdoor space?
Well, any of those, really. As long as it's intergenerational and it fosters a good community of arts and the feeling that you can really express what you feel in art, whether you are a kid or a senior
Well, how does a space like that come to be? I mean, we want to be able to engage and show the communities that we live in that we understand what it is to be a part of that community. But that's not in isolation as us as artists. That's engaging and bringing those people into those spaces. So it has to be accessible.
Speaking online and through social media is all well and good, and it does work. But there's a lot of us that live really far away from each other. We need the space to meet.
We do understand that not every community has the funding to provide a space for artists and for an art-friendly environment, which is why there's communities and rentable spaces, but we need to know that they're designated and that they're a safe space to express. Spaces are also important to have a way to build a relationship with your audience and have a specific audience so that you can communicate in a way that isn't going to offend people and you have a chance to build those relationships.
It also has to stop costing so much. Why can't a community be able to support and seek out new models that bring together businesses in that space that supplement those high overhead costs and allow us to engage with our community members, with those businesses that advertise in our programs, that do all of those things. And at the same time, we just heard about ideas of being able to foster and engage with entrepreneurial opportunities for people who maybe their specific art can't support themselves, but at least they have the opportunity to gain those business senses. Why can't that be in the same space? But we also need a space to try stuff. And we need a space to be able to fail, because we will fail abysmally at times. But from that opportunity, we can truly learn. We can truly feel supported in our community. But when we do succeed, and we will succeed, we are going to be feeding into our community, into that sense of place.
I guess what we feel is also lacking sometimes in that void is trust.
But since when was any great art ever created by playing the face? Really, the age divide, it doesn't mean anything to us. What we need to do is we need to take our shared vision and our shared passion to create, and instead of of using these and dividing ourselves by age, use these things that we have so much in common with and bring them together.
It's time for us to stop having dialogue about starting dialogue and to just communicate with each other.
Thank you for hearing us, and thank you in advance for carrying this thirst for youth voices back to your communities and opening that conversation.
Because we would love to talk to you.